I nearly have my new 3D printing and chill out room completely set up the way that I want it. I just have a few things left that I need to take care of. One of those things that I'm looking at tackling this week is trying to figure out a way of making this keyboard more usable. Now this keyboard connects up to a computer that drives all the automation in this room and a few other features. So I don't have to use the keyboard that often, but when I do, I don't want to have to, deal with fighting with this pillar and that type of stuff. And a lot of the stuff on the shelf is things that I just can't move around. So my thought here is, why don't I build a set of hangers that can come out and hang out over the edge here, and then the keyboard could essentially rest out here, say like that, and then that would make it more usable for me. And then when I'm done, I can just pick up the hangers and put them away and put the keyboard away, and it would be out of the way completely. All right, what I want to do is build a couple hangers that keyboard can rest on, but I also want to minimize the amount of material that I'm using for printing. So let me start with basically the rough kind of shape of the rack over there. And essentially my thought is to have some sort of item that would come over and then come down and go across and then come down and essentially look something like that. Now, the one thing is on the bottom of the keyboard, there is a little area that goes like this. And I'm thinking that if I create some sort of block or lip or whatever, that will keep the keyboard secure in here and I won't have to worry about it moving around. My other thought is to help reduce the material is to do something like a honeycomb effect, something along through this whole entire area. So I'm reducing the amount of material that's going in here. And then the other thought is maybe somehow reducing the amount of material here. Now the one thing and the reason why I'm talking about reducing the material here is I want this support to basically fit within those gaps within that shelf so that it's essentially locked in here so that it won't do kind of the wavy whatever aspect. Like if you build shelves or whatever and you put them on the lock-in channels, they'll move about. I want to keep that from happening. So my thought here is that if I make this back section as wide as this kind of gap in the shelving material or the rack, that I will keep it from being able to move back and forth, thus making that support a little bit more solid. But again, I don't want to waste a bunch of material in doing that. So maybe one thought would be to kind of channel this out a little bit so that it still has strength, but really its purpose is more about locking that into space as opposed to supporting the weight. The honeycomb will help with that, and then some sort of fairly thick bracing to go around. The other thing that I want to take into mind is that when I print this, I don't want to have to do a lot of supports. So I'm thinking about printing something essentially flat and then come up, and then I would come over and kind of do a slice. So maybe this section is about half the width of this. So this is like 20 and a half. Maybe make this like 10. So that'd be like 10 millimeters. And this is going to be 25 millimeters. And then the other thing, I don't want to waste a bunch of material. So I don't want to end up with a lot of excess poop or whatever when I'm printing this. So my other thought is that this honeycomb section that goes in here, maybe I could have that snap in and then I can print all of the rest of this. So I want to print all of this in a white PLA, and then these little accents, I'm thinking maybe I want to do those in, I think I have a midnight or something like that, PLA, or black or something like that, just to kind of match the rack that's over there, because the rack is basically a white-ish with kind of black accents on it. So I think that would be kind of cool. So next steps for this is to get this into Fusion 360 and then start modeling. So with the dimensions figured out and the rough design, I'm ready to throw this into Fusion 360 to build the model to print. I'm going to start with this interior piece, the piece that slides into the slot, then goes over the little beam and then out to where the keyboard will sit. So that's how I'm going to put this together. I'm going to start by creating a sketch, and I'm going to actually start with a center rectangle. And I want this rectangle to be essentially the depth. So the depth is 60 millimeters. I want that piece going over the top to be, say, 20 millimeters tall. And then I want it to be 15 millimeters thick. So this needs to be 80. And this needs to be 15. So I want to build the piece that's going to go across the beam. The depth or the width of that beam is 57 millimeters. I want the segment on the other side, this segment right here, to be 5 millimeters. So that means that this needs to be 62 millimeters. Whoops, that needs to be 20 millimeters. This needs to be 62 millimeters. And then I'm going to come down with another piece to kind of set this from here. So I want that to be 60 millimeters. And then I want this to be 5 millimeters. And I'm going to pull this over. Now I'm going to come across with a section that goes all the way across here, which is where the keyboard will rest. I want that to be 5 millimeters. And then this needs to be 127 because that's what the depth of the keyboard is. And then I want to put a little stop at the end here, just a little square. This will keep the keyboard from sliding off the end, essentially. I'm going to make that 2 millimeters by 3 millimeters. And then the next part is I want to come down from here 5 millimeters. No, I want to come down 10 millimeters, and then I want that to be 5 millimeters. Whoops, 5 millimeters. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to have a piece that comes across here. So I'm going to just build a line, and I want that line to be 15 degrees. Just have that intersect. Now I want to turn this line into a construction line because I just want it for reference. And then I want to offset this by 5 millimeters. And again, I want this just to be a construction line. And I want to carry this out. And then I want to do another line from here. So now I have all my construction lines in place. This gives me my basic model now. All right, then the other thing that I want to do is trim these to make it a solid piece. So now I have that all in place. So I want to fillet these ends. So I want this to be 3. So now I have this all set to extrude. The one thing is I want to build a piece to snap into this, which would be the honeycomb for additional support. So that's going to go into this area right here. And I think I want to do that in a separate sketch. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab all of this. And I'm going to create a new one, same plane. I'm just going to paste everything over. All right. I'm going to turn that one off and then go ahead and so I want to get rid of everything I don't need. So I'm going to offset this by 5. So then the honeycomb model will go in here. And then if I go back here, I need to redo this too, so that I have kind of that lip. So I want to offset that. What this will give me is the interior for that. So now I need to do the same thing with the fillets here. I have the piece that I'm now going to be able to put the honeycomb in for this model. And then I have the overall piece. Is there anything else that I need to do with this before I do that? Oh, you know what? There is one other thing. While I'm in here, I do want to offset this by 0.5 millimeters. And then I want to get rid of these outside lines. The reason for doing this is to allow a little bit of a gap so that when I go to slide this piece in with the other piece, that it will actually fit and I don't have to force it in. So I think that gives us our right start there. Now to build a honeycomb, I want to put in a construction line, basically say right here. And I want to do another construction line, put in my polygon. So I'm going to do a inscribe polygon, and I want it to be here at this center point. I want it to be 6-sided, and then I want it to be, say, 4 millimeters. All right, and actually, I feel like this needs to be moved. So the next thing I want to do is create some construction lines. I'm going to go from the center to here. And then I actually want to do one from here to there. And I want to actually pull this distance off, because when I go to render this out, that'll be helpful information. So now I want to go up here and create a rectangular pattern. I'm going to select each one of these pieces, segments, and then I'm going to select the direction from here. Then I want this to be symmetric. And then as far as the distance goes, this is going to be 6.928, and this is going to be 6.928. Now I just need to increase this number here till it fills up the space. Oh, and I need to change this to spacing. So then I'm just going to expand out and get rid of all of this that I don't need. So I cleaned that up a little bit. So now I have essentially the items that I care about here. Turn this off. I want to extrude this. And I want that to be 10 millimeters. So that should give us that. Now I want to go back here. I need to delete out all this additional stuff here. So I'm selecting all of these items in here. All right, so I think I have everything now. So then I want to do my thickness, and I want to do distance. So I want thickness to be, say, 2, which is going to give me a 4 millimeter. And I want this to be 1 millimeter. No, just going to do 2. Not 200, 2. Now if I look at this, I should have this little piece here with my, and here it's going to cut fine. So now I have all of these pieces. So then the next thing I want to do is go back here and I'll extrude this again. So that should get me basically my solid piece. And then I want to go back to here, back to the front, and then I want to extrude this. And I want this to be 20.5. If I swing this around, I should have that integrating into that just fine. The other thing I need to do is come back here and do this. But I need this to be extruded again. And I need this to be 20.5. 5. Now the one thing that I need to do is I need to copy this. So I should have 2 bodies sitting right on top of each other. And what I'm going to do is take this body here and do a move. So that should give me 2 pieces right next to each other. And the next thing I want to do is grab this, do another extrusion. I'm going to do this as 10, negative 10. All right. That's going to give me a cut into that. Then I want to do this one. Again, I want to do extrusion. So then I want to bring back this one, turn that one off, and I want to grab this, grab all of this, do a move, copy, need this to go negative 10. Okay, so now what I have is 2 bodies with 2 grates in them. Let me adjust this so that we can see it. So if I hide these, you'll see that I have this integrated into this, and then if I switch over to this one, you'll see that I have that integrated in there. Now that I have those all done, I want to print these as 3D prints. So with that done, basically now it's just a matter of printing and then making sure that it fits. Okay, so the print is completed, so now it's time to do the assembly, and it looks like everything turned out really well. It just snaps in there just like that. Good snug fit. Now the one thing I did notice afterwards, so I could have gone with a less dense honeycomb pattern, number one, and I could have done a thinner wall. I mean, this is going to support this way more than it needs to be, and the weak point is actually right here. But I mean, for what it's going to hold as far as the keyboard goes, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I mean, the keyboard doesn't weigh anything at all. There we go. Perfect. Okay, I've come over here to the rack. I'm gonna go ahead and see how these fit. I think these are gonna fit just like the way I want them to. Look at that. That one slid in perfectly. That one in there just as well. That one's got a little bit of movement, but not much. Let's go ahead and throw the keyboard on. You know what? That works out just the way that I wanted it to. If you have any comments, let me know. Any thoughts, anything like that. I think for the next episode, I have a part that I need to replace on a drill press that I have. So I may be working on that, or I may be working on another model.